raining so hard I can barely see. That's why I didn't pick up the mic very quick. Go ahead, N9MXI. That was me this morning. I excused myself from the rotation and said, y'all can put both hands on the wheel and pay attention. Over to you. W9SH here, the name's Steve. I'm sorry, we probably messed and I forget the name. That's alright, I forget it sometimes too. It's Frank, and if you can hear me over the noise of the rain hitting the windshield, just because of the rain, we're down to about 25 miles an hour here. And so that's why I decided it's okay to pick up the mic now because we're barely moving. Anyhow, go ahead, Bill, and I know my time.
Hey Frank, yeah, it's conversation makes it go a little easier, but I can remember in the other RAV that I had before this one, the other RAV4, a couple times coming up Peachtree Industrial, the rain was hitting that metal roof so hard that I couldn't hear the radio. I kept thinking I need to put in an amplified speaker so I can crank the volume up, and then I would think, well, that's nuts, that's the point where you turn the radio off. In any event, yeah, I'm actually about almost home. I've got probably 2 more turns in me, then I'll be there. And I believe I will stop to get gas in the morning when it's not raining so hard. KB4 KFT, over to you, Steve.
Yeah, that's what I like about the speaker in this commercial rig. It was dump truck certified, and it is loud. I barely have it cranked up, and I forgot you have to kind of turn this one down. But yeah, hopefully you're not hearing too much of the windshield wiper and the rain noise on this one. There must be something magical about Beaver Ruin, because I went under the viaduct, and when I came out on the other side, it's practically not raining at all. There's still a ton of spray off the road, but not a lot coming out of the sky. I think it went from barely being able to see to, wow. Okay, anyhow, yeah, good to hear you again, Steve. I'm trying to remember where you said you were from up north. Maybe on the next round you can fill me back in. I'm from, I grew up on the south side of Chicago and then was living up on the northwest side for about 10, 12 years before I moved down here, working for Zenith back then. Bill, go ahead and take it, and N9MXI in the group.
Yeah, Frank, we've known for some time that stretch of road through there on Beaver Ruin, that it was, it's a black hole or something. There's also an RF hole in there. When you get into it, it seems like you hear an echo on your side of the radio, and the only way I can figure out what that is the radio waves are going out for a while and bending and coming back. So you're actually hearing your own echo somehow or another. It's kind of a strange location. A friend of mine swears that one of the chunks of Atlantis, and she was serious about this, guys, that the crystal that powered Atlantis got broken into 9 pieces, and they buried the 9 pieces all over the world, scattered them around. There's a piece buried around here, and there's a piece buried around Linville Gorge up in North Carolina. You can read into that wherever you want to. I'm going to go ahead and sign, guys. By the time it comes back around to me, I will be at home. Steve, we'll catch you tomorrow. I'll be doing probably 6 o'clock, 6:15 or so out there every day for a while. And Frank, be careful out there. This is KB4 KFT. I'll be clear monitoring for about another minute. Go ahead and take it, Steve.
Enjoyed it, Bill. I'll give you a shout tomorrow morning. That's about the time I'm setting out, too, so we might overlap a bit. And, yeah, Frank, and I was going to say, Bill, the thing about Atlantis, that would explain why my dowsing rod and the mobile antenna always bends over when I drive over there. But, Frank, I got the 9 call in Indianapolis fair and square, and know my way around the speaker down in there. But the other morning, I was talking, I was on the Jasper repeater. I can't believe the kind of coverage that it has. I guess it's up at 3,300 feet, but I mean, I was getting into that full quieting with 5 watts down here.
Was the sun up over the horizon yet? Might have been some, fall tropo ducting.
Oh yeah, it's probably about 10 in the morning. I don't know, maybe 9:30 in the morning. And I can get into it just about any time. That thing's got just amazing coverage. The person I was talking to said sometimes talk to people down all the way to Macon.
Very nice. Yeah, I haven't put that one. I got 16 channel choices in this commercial rig, and I just plugged a few in it. I can get up. This red transmitter. Got a separate back on the back. CPF plugged into it. So I got to wipe out all the DC frequencies and put in more Atlanta voice frequencies to make it on.
I got about half of that. I think you're in a shadow or something because you're got really noisy, but your previous transmission was great. So, and it sounds like you're barely moving the way that the flutter was.
Oh yeah, every 19 inches in and out. Well, I'm kind of losing some altitude here, and there's semis boxing me in occasionally. That might have been it. I hear somebody kerchunk W9SH here.
On-and-off showers and thunder showers for much of this evening and into tonight. Tomorrow we start out with some clouds and drizzle. We'll end up
I guess not. Yeah, that time I was fine. So yeah, maybe you're just boxed in between some semis. I'm trying to get off of Pleasantdale here, and there's a huge line of semis. I was talking to someone one day on the way home. I don't know what repeater it was on. And he's a truck driver, and he was talking to someone else that used to be, and he mentioned something that made a lot of sense. Why in the world aren't the truck lanes the leftmost lanes? Because most of the trucks go through. They're not getting on and off at it. Because they have to be in the right lane, and that backs up that lane, and then it's hard for cars to squeeze in, and I don't know. That kind of makes a lot of sense. The truck lanes ought to be the left lane.
Well, they'd go for that, that's for sure. And some places that's posted. Sometimes you just have to know the state and local law, I guess. I never gave it much of a thought as to whether the guys on 285 are sticking in one lane or the other. It seems to be every man for himself, mostly.
Well, yeah, 285 is a story of its own, but at least on 85, the trucks aren't supposed to be in the left couple lanes, so they're always over on the right. But it seems like put them over on the left because they're generally just heading through the city. They're not even getting on and off. I mean, obviously there's going to be the exception, but I think there's more cars getting on and off, and it'd be easier when you don't have a giant line of semis to try to break through. I've only got one more lane to go, though. I'm doing pretty good here. I give myself a big head start because of the weather here. And I've got another quarter mile to get over one lane. I think I can manage that. So how long have you been down here?
Yeah, we're about to do the same 5-lane sachet here to get off the CID. You've been down here since 2003? You'd think I'd know better by now.
Okay, well, you're a newcomer compared to me. I've been down here since 95. And no one is wanting to let me over to this last lane. I haven't stuck my right front quarter panel out there, fender out there, and it just would not. Okay, this person's going to let me go. Man, some people, I'm going to make the difference between them getting home in time for dinner or not.
why they agreed to be among the most effective CEOs of the modern era.
Oh yeah. Okay, Aldi Foods is between me and the repeater downtown. How copy?
Stewardship became the Harvard Business School
Fine.
case study. Jim Burke was a Navy veteran. After his business career, he chaired the partnership for
All right, must have just been one of those Atlantis, not Atlanta, but Atlantis fragments I was driving over. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Come up here on Shamley Dunwoody, and at least I'm in the middle of things here, so we'll let a few people get off there, and then I'll get over to get off on PIB.
Yeah, the left lanes are actually moving pretty good here. I think the right where I had to get over to get off here is all backed up, and because I made the 285 is a mess, and got it backed up north of Pleasantville. But I'm almost to the exit, and then I ought to be fine. So 2003, what brought you down here?
Oh, same thing that brought most of us carpetbagging Yankees down here, a job. So, great opportunity, one of those sorts of things. You know, I'm kind of looking forward to the automated car. I wouldn't mind if I could have been sitting here reading a book, talking on the radio, taking a nap, letting the car drive, make the best of the conditions and get me home without me having to sit here and think about anything.
Yeah, I never had that kind of commute in Chicago, but I had plenty of friends and relatives that their commute was always to downtown, and they would take the train from the suburbs and hop on the train and read or work on their laptop. Back then, most people didn't have laptops, but anyhow, didn't get a lot done just during their commute. Of course, my commutes were never, for 1 year they were terrible, but other than that, they weren't that good. I tended to try to live close to work. But my first year out of college, I was living back at home for a year and commuting from the south side to the north